What's up, Moto buddies? We're gonna do a walkthrough on this bike. This is a nice little 500 EXC-F. I think it's an 18 or a 19. It's been set up to do a Baja run. Got some cool, tricky stuff on here. Some of this we've put on, some of it the owner had. We'll just break it all down for you and show you what some of these mods are. Let's start up here with lighting. So if you notice, this is the XL Pro Baja Designs in the moto-minded bracket. So this bike came to us with the light, this exact light, in the Baja Designs flat plate aluminum mount setup, and we have a separate video that kind of goes through and breaks down that. But he wanted to upgrade this to the moto-minded, so we took and removed that Baja Designs aluminum dress plate, put on the moto plate, moto-minded plate, and then now he's got adjustability with the light that he didn't have before. That's a nice add-on to any bike. This is the biggest footprint light that you'll get in the stock opening of the mask. Really super awesome setup. And then back here we have the moto-minded mount. So this is a headlight mount. It comes from moto-minded, and it gives you a plate back here, which is difficult to see, but back behind here, again, this is all in a separate video where we kind of walk you through all these headlight components, but this plate allows you to reconfigure the way that the wire is routing underneath that light, and then gives you a bracket here, so you rigid mounted the mask to the fork instead of the rubber band. And so if you've got a heavy light like this, heavier, let's say, then you've got way more security with the way that the mask secures to the front forks. Super nice setup. And then these are our Moto Co 360 fork wrap turn signals that we threw on there, and got rid of the stock headlight or the stock turn signals. So we also put some new tires on here. These are the Motoz Tractionator Deserts. This guy picked this tire for the super long life. Now, traction on this particular tire is not my favorite, but a lot of life. It's a good sort of dual sport tire. It's probably a 60-40, 60 dirt, 40 road, and so he'll get, he'll probably get 2,000 miles out of that front tire. And then he wanted to throw in the Tubliss system, so we've got that going on here for him. And then we put in some puncture sealant. So if you run the Tubliss, you want to make sure that you've got some slime or stands or something in there to seal and deal with any punctures that are going to happen, like a cactus needle or something. Now, if you have a bigger issue with like a hole or a puncture, you can use one of those plugs, like ATV rubber cord type ATV plugs, and those work super good. So that's one of the advantages of the Tubliss system, is to be able to plug those holes really easily. He's got the front fork, or the disc guard here, Acerbis. That's a nice little dress up. And over here on this side, for fuel range, we threw on this Acerbis big tank. This is the in the note I'll put what size this is. I think this is like the 4-1, not the biggest one. This is the intermediate one. So there's smaller, bigger. This is the middle sized tank. And one of the things that I like about the Acerbis is how the stock side panels mount. And they give you these little tough rubber O-rings, and that's going to secure that. And I've run these wide open, 100 miles an hour, and these things don't walk or move, and you can replace these if they age or tear. It's a pretty good idea to keep a couple of those in your backpack when you're out in case something happens and you break one of those. Up here in the cockpit, we just throw on these Odi Rouge grips. Super squishy, really nice, good traction. They work really good when they're wet. Probably one of my favorite grips. That and the Pro Grip 714s, definitely my favorite. He's got the Flexx Bars going on, and a GPR V4 stabilizer. Stock suspension on this bike, handles really well. And he's got these Tusk bar guards up here. They mount in the ends pretty clean. It's a nice setup. And he's got the Tusk bracket, which allows the Flexx Bars to mount. This is a universal. You can get this to mount with any type of bar guard. This just happens to be all Tusk, and it's pretty clean. Nice setup. Let's see, moving back. Everything is pretty stocky. Doesn't have anything going on there. He's got a Vortex in there under the seat. And then in the back, we've got the Tractionator Desert as well. Same basic tire. As the front, this is the rear version. Very, very good tire. This is a fantastic tire. Straight line tread is epic. If you look at this, you'll see there's sort of like sand scoops. It's almost like a sand tire in the way that it's sort of structured. Just amazing front drive. Where this tire suffers a little bit is in the side, in the lean in. If you're doing a side hill or you're an aggressive, you like to take your turns really hot and aggressive, this tire will give you a little bit of an unsettled feeling in those hard lean angles. If they had more open space here in these tread blocks, you'd have better hookup, but they've designed it the way they did. I have read where guys will take a tire knife and they will slice away. They'll take this knob right here and use it as a profile, and they'll slice away this section of the knob to give you more open spaces. All of these blocks here, they'll slice those down. And then I think I saw a picture where a guy had trimmed away some of this. So I don't know if you want to get creative, you can improve the traction of that tire by shaving away some of those outer knobs. I don't know if it's worth it. So this tire has some strengths and some weaknesses. Durability is amazing. It's a very good tire. It does have some compromises though, like anything, right? And then here in the back, he's got the Tubliss system going on with some slime. I think we put maybe 10 pumps in the rear, which is like 10 ounces, and then 8 in the front. We threw on this little Tusk disc guard for him. This replaces the standard bracket. So some guards, like a Fastway Pro Moto billet, is a pretty easy one to install. It mounts to the stock caliper bracket. Some of them, like this one, replaces the stock caliper bracket. So it's really two different designs. I don't think I have a preference either which way. You might say that this one looks better because there's more bling to it. The other one is lighter and is faster to install. So just different products with different advantages. In the back, he threw on the SICASS fender eliminator, and then he's got the SICASS signals going on there, LEDs. So this bike's been all upgraded to LED. Don't forget to replace the flasher if you do that. If you do an LED upgrade, either front or rear, you either need the load balancing little pigtails or just upgrade. It's just easier if you upgrade the flasher to LED specific flasher. FMF 4.1 going on there, stock suspension, stock clutch. No recluse in there, stock. And then we threw on the Kickstarter. So this bike, as you know, 17 plus, these don't come with a Kickstarter. And in fact, you know, to address that, the 20s don't even have the option for a Kickstarter. So the 12 through 19 are the bikes that have Kickstarters. 12 through 16 had them at stock. 17 through 19, it's an add-on. So he had a battery problem, and that's why he wanted to put that in there, because he didn't want to get stranded. He was stranded, and I'm not sure how he got this bike in, but I think it was an ordeal. So we upgraded that stock Skyrich battery under the seat to a Shore Eye. So he's really upgraded the starting capabilities of this bike with the starter, adding a starter, and then doing that Shore Eye battery. So it's pretty bulletproof now as far as that goes. And he wanted that ultimate reliability for down in Mexico. So you know, there's more. Oh, and then I guess he's got this Acerbis skid plate, which is a nice little add-on there too. So this, I guess, is sort of like your entry-level Baja bike. I mean, you can take a bike down there with less going on. You know, he's got some things in here. You don't need the exhaust. You don't need the Vortex. Some of this stuff is for performance, aesthetics, comfort, and that's all fine. You could take a bike down there that was a little less prepared than this and be just fine. You definitely need lighting. You definitely need fuel range and protection. So bar guards are a must. Skid plate is a must. That disc guard isn't super protective, so just a thought about that. This is more of a mud guard or a stick shield. It because it's plastic, if you hit something, it's going to bend. So it's for bling, but it's also for like I said, keeping sticks and things out of that disc. There are aluminum ones, and that will offer true disc protection, but they're heavy, so you pay a penalty with unsprung weight. I never run a disc guard of any type. It's just personal preference. The one in the back here, that's aluminum. That is a true protector, and that's absolutely recommended. So you want some sort of shark fin to protect that rear disc. And just a quick side note on disc, have you ever seen a solid disc versus this open? So the cooling will be a little better because there's less material here on the vented one. But the downside to that is if you ride in muddy terrain, the mud will pack into these and that'll accelerate the pad wear. So if you are a mud rider, then, or ride anywhere where you have that sort of condition, you'll want to switch out to a closed or a solid rotor. This is a desert bike, and there's no mud here, not in Baja or in Vegas or in the Southwest. So we're running this open one, and that one's more than adequate. So seat, that's probably a nice upgrade. I forgot to mention that. Seat concepts, and that's the standard. So this is the comfort. They come in 3 sizes. There's a lower one. The low takes about 1 inch, maybe 1.5 inches, a little more away from that. And that's the one I prefer. I'm a regular height guy, but I like my seat to be low. I want my center of gravity to be as low as possible. This is the comfort one, and then there is a tall version, 3 different sizes. And then the bar guards would be pretty essential for a Mexico bike. So that gives you an idea of what you're looking at in terms of minimum standard, you know, to take a bike down. Obviously you can go way above, and we have plenty of guys that do. Lots more we could add to this bike, change up and improve and modify on this bike. But this is a classic example of a pretty tidy bike that's ready to go. I don't know that I would do anything more to this bike that hasn't already been done. Maybe the one thing would be to upgrade the fuel filter. So this is the stock connector right here, and there's that cone, 10 micron cone filter inside of there. And so I think it's a pretty good idea to upgrade that to either a zip tie or a Golan filter. But other than that, I think he's ready to go. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that nonsense. You can get all of these products and more from us or from your other favorite supplier. This is Mike at Moto Co and Baja Taco Tours. Go out and get some adventure.